Hi, and welcome to the Entrepreneur Management Training Program, or EMS for short. Today in our podcast, we're going to be talking about bookkeeping. And today we have a guest, Kyle. So welcome, Kyle, and thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I have had Talents Bookkeeping for about 3 years. I really love helping my clients, taking the books for them so that they can do what they love doing most about their business and just taking that stress off their shoulders.
Awesome. So what got you into bookkeeping?
I had previously worked in a job where I basically did the books for them and absolutely loved it, and was a stay-at-home mom for about 12 years and decided I wanted to do something for me and for our family, but not totally give up my time with our kids. So this has been a perfect combination.
And fit, obviously. Yeah. Excellent. So what is it about bookkeeping that really captures your heart, your passion?
I love just the numbers and how they work together, how they give my clients the information that they need to make wise decisions and to see how their business is doing. And it's just fairly straightforward and easy to work with. And I just love just helping my clients.
Awesome. So what would you say are the top 3 things that any entrepreneur, either getting into the business or maybe they've been in business for a couple of years, are like, ugh, this is beginning to get more than I thought? What should they be thinking about?
I think every new business, once they're starting, the main thing they need to do is make sure that they're separating their business and their personal transactions. Make sure they have a dedicated checking account for the business. Keep those personal accounts, transactions separate. Make sure that they're using a software to track their business expenses and income. Like I use QuickBooks Online. That's my preferred choice. And then also make sure that they are consistently updating their books or working with a bookkeeper that can do it for them. If they're doing it consistently, then there's not the overwhelm. They're not, I'll do it next week. And then it's the end of the year and we haven't done anything with our books.
Yeah, I like to relate that to the water takes a path of least resistance. Mm-hmm. So as an entrepreneur, you have so many things that you're trying to focus on and get moving. And the books, for most of them, is way down on the list. They know it's important, but it's like one of those tasks they really don't want to do.
It's not why they went into business.
Very good point. Yeah.
And it also, if you're keeping on a weekly basis, I have problems remembering what I spent at Walmart, a month ago, let alone 12 months ago. So if you're staying consistent on it, your books are actually going to be more accurate.
Oh, awesome. So what are the common mistakes that they make?
Besides not being consistent.
Okay, inconsistency would be number one.
Inconsistency, commingling. And there's so many reasons for that. Not only do, most business owners, when they create their business, they do it legally, get your LLC, get whatever legal structure you want. When you're commingling, you're breaking down that wall between your business and your personal. So that is a big mistake. And I don't think a lot of business owners, especially if they set up their legal structure on their own, they don't necessarily know exactly what it is, what the protections are, and why it's there. Okay. It's really simple, but not putting the vendors in the transaction line. So say you have $5 that come through, they'll just put the $5 in the category, but they won't put where they spent it. Oh. So then at the end of the year, if you're trying to figure out where you need to cut back expenses, you don't have your vendors listed, so you don't know where you actually were spending your money. You know your categories, but not where. Oh, well, that's a really good point, because all businesses have to be able to project where the money is going to, how much is coming in, and then where they're going to be able to spend it. Exactly.
So without good bookkeeping, makes that process a little more dicey.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see that.
And if you're doing it right from the beginning, then when you do get somebody to help you, if you don't start from the beginning, then they have to go back and fix it. So
gotcha.
Good habits from the beginning.
So why should they should hire that bookkeeper as part of the initial process of starting their business, do you think?
That's what I recommend. It's just so much easier to start from the beginning. You don't have to break bad habits. You don't have to fix new processes. I love working with brand new clients that are like, we don't have any income coming in. but we don't know what we're doing and we don't want to mess it up from the beginning. Those are so much fun to work with because they're like blank slates and they want to do it right and they know that they don't know what they're doing. And so they reach out at the beginning. Those are really fun people to work with.
Awesome.
So yeah, I would definitely say fit it in that budget and know that it will save you money in the long run because you won't have to have somebody come in and fix any issues or move categories around, add vendors.
Excellent.
Do a cleanup.
So if I was looking for a bookkeeper, I'm an entrepreneur, I really don't know what I'm doing when it comes to bookkeeping. Do you think one of the reasons that they don't do it, they think it's going to be too expensive? It's going to be like, who do they trust? Will they actually be able to do it? So what should they look for? What should we look for in a bookkeeper?
Yeah, I think it is largely they think it's going to be too expensive. And they also are pretty certain that they can do it themselves. So those are the two things I think that hold them back. But I think when you're talking to bookkeepers, you want to talk to somebody that knows what they're doing, obviously, that you fit and you mesh with personality-wise, that's transparent with what they're doing. I offer my clients a monthly review so that we can go through the books. They can get questions answered. I can get my questions answered. I think the transparency is huge. And just having that time to talk to them and so they can be aware of what's happening in their books without actually having to be in their books is huge.
Yeah. I could see that. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello.
What a concept.
And so what does working with you personally look like?
So it starts off with a discovery call to see what the potential client needs, what their business looks like, what they are wanting, because I don't do packages. I offer the services that my clients need. I don't see the point in charging them for something that they're not going to use. And then getting, if they're brand new, getting them set up in QuickBooks, getting the contract signed. And then from there, we really just take off and get going with it. And we'll do an initial call with them after we get everything kind of settled and get in there so that I can get some more questions answered and any questions that they've thought of. And then we just take off with it.
And what about like things like payroll, like adding people with payroll and that kind of stuff? Do you do that?
So I do. I can manage it. I have a program that I use, and I love it because I can process the payroll and take that off their hands. And then the company I use, they manage all of the tax filing, tax payments.
My heart beats.
So that they don't even have to think about it, and it's all taken care of.
Every quarter, my worst nightmare every quarter is that those filings. And did I get it right? Am I going to get a letter from the IRS or the state saying, you reported wrong or under?
Yes.
I always have huge anxiety for that. So I can't wait to get rid of it.
Yep. No, it's a wonderful thing to offload.
Excellent. All righty. So any parting tips that you would give to our clients that would be helpful?
I think mainly just reaching out and talking to somebody even before you think you might need it, because you don't know the pricing. You could talk to somebody else, and if you talk to a CPA, their price is going to be one thing. If you talk to a bookkeeper, their price will be this, even between bookkeepers. So I would, even if you don't think you're ready for it, talk to somebody and get the information.
I think that's awesome advice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for participating.
Yeah, thank you for
really enjoyed talking with you, and I'm looking forward to you doing our books. Yeah. So Kyle, what's your experience with entrepreneurs that come to you that have been maybe in the business, that have had their business for maybe 1-2 years, and they're really beginning to understand that things are going a little sideways for them? Mm-hmm. What's your experience with that?
They're always very great to work with because they know that there's been an issue and they want it fixed. I have had clients that I offer sessions where I will, get in their books with them. They can ask questions directly. We can make changes then. And I've had a couple clients that they stop me halfway through the session and they're like, we need more than this. So what is it going to cost us to hire you? Because we just realized that we really were not doing this right.
Okay.
Or we have ones that have thanked me after working with me for a year that their CPA fee was half of what it used to be because their books are now organized
in such good order
and ready for the CPA. They don't have to do any finagling with the numbers to get them tax ready.
Oh, that is excellent.
So that has been so much fun to see that. I have a couple of clients that we've started their QuickBooks from scratch. What they usually do is just either give their CPA a spreadsheet or a box of receipts.
My husband used to do that.
And then their CPA has to create their books. And they are just going through the year not knowing what they're making because they're not tracking. They're just kind of like, if there's money in the checking account, then we have money to pay our bills. And so it's just really nice to see their stress lower as I'm going through their monthly with them and they know where they are and we can plan for future purchases, not just what is due and needs to be paid.
So I have one more question for you. Profit first. That's a very, everyone's talking about it. There's been several books come out about profit first. And I believe there's even a profit first for like contractors. Do you provide that kind of service?
So I am not technically certified I'm not like a profit first consultant or ambassador, I think. But I love it. I instituted it in my business. And if my clients are open to it, then I will gladly talk to them and walk them through it. It really is a great resource. It's kind of like the Dave Ramsey for businesses.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And it just really is a good overview. Just looking at your money differently. It's not looking at where your money went, but it's where is your money going to go and how do we pay you as the business owner? Because you really should be getting paid and not just taking the leftovers.
Right. That is a huge deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do love working that with my clients and helping them with that because it really is eye-opening for them to see when you're looking at it is where do I have this money available for this? Rather than, I paid this, now where is that money coming from?
So I had one client and she did a really good job with going every time she wanted to purchase something or make an investment in her company. I told her, I said, best person I know to talk to is your financial person. And so that's what she has done and has done really, really well with that. So if one of your clients wanted to buy a new vehicle or a new piece of equipment, would they call you first and say, not only do I have the money, but is this going to be a good
Right. Well, if they're looking for like the tax implications of it, then I would send them over to the CPA.
To a CPA.
But do we have this? Is this available? How would we work this out on the books? What would it look like? Then definitely call. I have a client that I'm bookkeeper / kind of CFO. And so there is a little bit more in-depth conversations with him for his monthly reviews, just because we're trying to implement the profit first. He really wants to work in that cash positive. And so it's just fun to work on that aspect of it.
Awesome. That's it for today. I hope that was helpful, and give us a call if you need any help from us. It will be on the screen. It's 907-354-6972. And I'm Judy at Next Level Consulting. Thank you.